Hi, my loves. Okay, so basically, I'm gonna let y'all know before we get started that this video is mainly just gonna be a voiceover mainly. But I noticed that a lot of you are either starting cosmetology or interested in starting cosmetology. So I just felt like I should give y'all an insight to what that actually looks like and everything that we'll be learning. So at Paul Mitchell, we have what we're in right now, which is called core class. It's before you get out onto the floor and you're actually able to take clients. So we learn basically all the fundamentals of doing hair and cosmetology and everything, which I'll show y'all later in this video. But I'll just get right into it. So for the very first day, we started learning the detangling journey, how to drape someone, because everyone should be draped before services start. So we learned how to drape our clients. We learned how to detangle hair. And this day, we learned how to shampoo also. So after we learned the proper way to do the basics, which as a licensed cosmetologist, you should always be shampooing and detangling your clients first before you get started on the services, after you give them their consultations to make sure they're able to get the service they needed. We jumped right into finger waving, y'all. So finger waving was a journey. The reason why we did finger waving first in core is because they said they want to build your skill, which finger waves are definitely a building skill because it takes so much to do finger waves. So these were mine. I think they came out really okay. This is my first time doing finger waves, so I was kind of excited about how it looked. But it definitely takes practice, and the more you practice, the more you can perfect your craft and movements and learning hair and how to manipulate it. So afterwards, we jumped into doing perm riding. I'm really not a fan of it, but since people come get this style, it is definitely still something that we have to learn. Now, coming from riding and learning the techniques to which you roll a curl, we started learning how to do rollers. So we learned how different ways that you place a roller will affect how the curl lays. And then right after we jumped into the curlers, the next day we had did the fishtail braids. So now we was moving on to braids. So I heard I already knew how to do a fishtail braid. So this wasn't really a challenge for me. But after we learned the fishtail braids, we jumped right into French braiding and Dutch braiding. And this is why I want to say, if you are not a hairstylist, or maybe you there for the makeup part of cosmetology or the nail part of cosmetology, and you just don't know how to do something, Dutch braiding is something that I found myself I came across a lot of adversity with Dutch braiding because I knew how to French braid all my life, but doing it inverted as a Dutch braid was very hard for me. I even sat down in class, but I'm telling y'all, just persevere. Like, just put your best foot forward, do what you can, and if your instructors were like mine, they were really helpful, and they, try to teach us in the best way they can, or try to help us in the best way that they can, or show us different styles, different ways on how to do something. So I hope y'all have that same experience too. But everything is not going to be easy. I would just say, just go easy on yourself, whatever you struggle with. And that's if you struggle with something, because you can come in there and snap. But since I struggled with Dutch braiding, I went home and I looked at those videos over and over again, and I did it. So I'm just going to say the number one thing is to just not give up. So after we did the Dutch braiding, we started going over updo. So an updo is basically any style that sits above the neck. So we had an updo competition come up. So it's mainly like bridal type looks, or things like that. So since we had that coming up, they were showing us different updo styles to do, and everybody not gonna be a fan of everything. I wasn't a fan of the updos because I don't see myself doing bridal hair, because I'm into like wigs and weave and everything. But like I said, this is just a learning journey. They want you to be well-rounded and learn everything. So this is us just going over the updos. And this is how mine turned out. I think it was kind of cute. It was what it was. I just threw a couple curls in there from the back and made it do what it do. So after we did the updos, we went over silk pressing next, y'all. And I was so excited. So I asked to be a model for silk pressing because honestly, I had needed my hair done anyway. So Miss Nisha, she is also a a TA at Paul Mitchell also, and she did her silk press demo on me, and it was so fat, y'all. She snapped on me, but she also trimmed my ends, which we didn't go over end trimming or anything like that in class that day. But since we were going over silk pressing, I just thought I'd show y'all. Look how silky this actually looks, like a real silk press, and my curls had bounced right back. So after learning how to silk press, we had to go over round brushing. Now, round brushing is something that you do after you, well, while you blow dry. So it's basically like putting a curl in the hair or manipulating a certain texture inside the hair with a brush while you curl. And you can do a whole style just off round brushing. So we learned round brushing this day and reverse round brushing, I think. And that's kind of a challenge too. But once you go over it a couple of times, like, you'll start to get the hang of it. And if you come into Paul Mitchell Atlanta, this is Miss Janice. Miss Janice is also a really good instructor. All the instructors bring something different because everybody teaches a different way, and some people make things more understandable than others. But Miss Janice was also a good instructor. She sat in our class and taught us while our teacher was out for celebrating her birthday. But this is how my round brush round wrap turned out. And y'all, I was so proud of myself because this is my first time I ever used a round brush or did a round wrap, and it was just giving like silk and lace. So I was really proud of myself. So this was the updo competition that I was telling y'all about. Everybody had to do a style and get creative, and everybody had the opportunity. So I'm gonna just show y'all what everybody's updo looked like. Everybody's was so cute. I was so proud of everybody because I feel like everybody snapped, honestly. Like, look at this. These are masterpieces, y'all. Like, y'all can't tell me my classmates wasn't in a bag. So this is my mannequin right here. Just did a little curl, a little ponytail, a fishtail. Honestly, I wasn't even taking this competition serious, but this is just what I did for my mannequin. And yes, look at the creativity. So this was my mannequin, y'all. I was so excited because even though I said I wasn't taking this competition seriously, I ended up winning 3rd place for the updo competition. So this is me in my bag, literally. And yes, Paul Mitchell put me on their Instagram. So this is just a picture that I took from their Instagram of me winning my 3rd place. Okay, y'all, so I'm so tired. You can tell I'm so tired. So yes, y'all can see I won third place. They gave me some extra body finishing firm spray. Y'all see? Another spray bottle. We already got a spray bottle with class, so I got another spray bottle. I got a little lip balm and a little headband. So that's cute. That's cute. So after the updo competition, we went straight into learning relaxers and perms. First of all, the first difference that I learned this day was that a relaxer is to get your hair straight and a perm is to get your hair curly. So I guess in the Black community, it was always a misconception that getting your hair straightened, that was a perm, and really a perm is to get your hair curly. So I don't know if y'all knew that or not, but I definitely did not know that. I thought people was just saying relaxer just to be like fancy, when I always thought it was a perm. So yes, that was a little food for thought. But we went over the proper way to do a relaxer, and I wanted to include too, a relaxer is never supposed to touch the scalp. Like, that was something very important I learned this day. Because when I used to get relaxers when I was young, they used to just smush all that product all over my entire head. So that was something that I learned also. So this is how my relaxer application turned out. Whenever you do a relaxer application, you're supposed to outline each section first, and then you go back in with the product and get the middle of the hair strand on all sections, and then you go back in lastly and do the roots and the ends. And since we weren't using a lab relaxer, I wouldn't be able to show y'all the end result, but I can show y'all what my application looked like, and this was it. So y'all, a little honesty, the class went over perms the next day, and that's the only day of class I actually missed. But I still had to finish that for makeup work, so I will show y'all that a little bit later. So after we did the relaxer applications, we ended up moving into a new class. So this is us in our new class, which y'all, if y'all watch my last video, y'all could probably see the new class. But we started going straight into cutting. So the first thing we learned was how to cut basically a one length, which is what everybody would know as a bob. So we learned how to cut a bob, y'all, the proper way. And I just want to say, hit me up for y'all bobs because I snapped on my mannequin, okay? But this is just our instructor doing her demo before we get started on our own. So one thing I want to tell y'all about me, and I don't know if anybody else does it too, because we have like great instructors, but if you feel like you struggling with something, do not be scared to ask for help, because look at me calling my instructor over there and asking her to take a look at my section, and she did end up telling me that I did something wrong, but she showed me a new way of how to recover and do it right. So don't, if you, even if you are second guessing yourself, don't be scared to say that you don't know how to do something, or that you need more help, or it is what it is, because at the end, every step you take, every discovery you make is going to help you to get better in the end. So y'all, this just me chilling because I finished my haircut first, but I wanted to show y'all the top. Y'all can see that color wheel up there. So we took the 3 primary colors and mixed them all together to make our own color wheel. So we mixed those colors ourselves, so y'all can tell we was going over color next. But this is how my one length turned out, which is basically like a blunt cut bob. So we kept it on the longer side because we did another cut with this mannequin next. But yeah, this is just me chilling. I'm actually starting to enjoy class at this point and interacting with my classmates and stuff like that. And this is my girl. I'm on YouTube too. Hey, what's your Instagram? I'ma drop it. So like I was telling y'all, the reason why we had did the color wheel last week was because we was going over color this week. So this is Miss Janice teaching us foil, and we was learning slicing. This is actually a weaving method, but this week we had learned slicing, weaving, the way you apply different foils or different colors to get certain looks, such as like highlights, or if you want color to sit a certain way, or how colors connect and disconnect. So we learned how to color and use foil, and how to actually use the foils and lock the foils in place. So as y'all can kind of tell by now, after every demonstration, we go off onto our own mannequins and basically do the same thing that they just showed us how to do. And so this is just me applying my color application with the gel. So I think this was actually our last time using, well, I be calling them the baby products. Like for our relaxers, they made us use cholesterol, not a real relaxer. And for our color applications, we was using gel and not real color. And I mean, I understand why, but I was just so ready to be done with the baby products, because you can never see the finished result at the end with the baby products. It's just basically showing you how to apply them. So a little bit after this, you will see us actually use real lightener and real color. And I was really excited about that because I wanted to see a real end result finally. But overall, these are how my foils turned out. You can kind of see the difference between when I lock a foil, like these ones at the top, versus when you don't lock a foil, like these ones at the top. So yeah, I learned a lot this day. So I felt like it was worth including also that we don't just come to school every day, work on our mannequins, and it's all boring. So like today was Barbie Day at school. We got to dress up however we wanted, and like Barbie themed. And the school put on this whole event. They had free pizza and everything, and it was a vibe. So I just wanted to show y'all that too. Today is Barbie Day. Oh, y'all probably can't even hear this cause fine, don't play with it. Oh, this is like a little Barbie box. This is cute. That's cute. So after the event, we did go back to class and get right back to business. And like I said, we cut the blunt cut bob a little bit long because we went back in and did another cut. So today we did like the asymmetrical bob, and our teacher had demonstrated that for us. I forgot the proper term for it, y'all. Excuse me. But it's basically like the low high bob is low in the back and high in the front. So after the demo, we went ahead and did it ourselves. So let me show y'all that. This is how mine came out. I put a little brush curl in there, and you can see that. So this was the next day, y'all. I told y'all we was going over the color with real lightener and color now. So I was super, super, so excited this day. I came in class late, so I had to catch up this day, but I was so excited. So we did basically some highlights, and I'll show y'all how they came out. So this is how my application came out. The fulls were placed so beautifully. I definitely took my time with it because I was so excited. And y'all, look how they came out. Everything looks uniform. It has some real pretty dimension. It's just so pretty. And so we still had to blow dry it and style it to get our credits for the day. But y'all, look at the dimension. Look at it in the light. Like, this was after I styled it and put my curls in it and everything. But just please, just take a look at this. Like, so fast. So, like I told y'all, I had missed the day of school, the day that they did the perm. So, of course, I had to go back and do it for makeup work. So, our instructor gave us a whole day to complete makeup work. And if you didn't have anything to do, she gave you the opportunity to get extra credits. But one thing I do want to tell y'all about cosmetology school is to just show up, because at the end of the day, you still have to get your credits. You still have to get your hours. And if you don't do it right then and there, it's going to take you longer, because you still have to come in and make up those hours, or you still have to come in and make up those credits. So this is me going ahead and making up my credits for a perm ride. And I was really so glad that I did it, because I didn't think perms were going to be my thing. You know, perms are for people with straight texture hair and wavy texture hair. And I'm used to working with people who has either coarse or coily hair. So I didn't think perms was going to be my thing. But y'all, at the end of this, dropping my perm set, it came out so pretty. Like, I can't wait to show y'all the end result. It made me just open up my mind, because everything is not going to be what you want to do. But I just take a look at this. After our day of makeup work, we went straight into the next week doing short hair cutting. Now, unfortunately, I had an injury on my hand, so I could not participate none this week. But like I said, showing up is still very important, because you still need to get your hours, and you still have to know what to do to get your credit. So I still showed up the whole week, learned everything we worked on, the short hair cutting, clipper over comb, scissor over comb, everything that we needed to know. We actually had somebody in class, he used to be a barber in the military, so she let him do a demo for us because he knew what he was doing. So he demoed the clipper over comb for us. And yeah, I just still say just showing up is just the best thing to do. So after the week of short hair cutting, we went right into spa. Y'all, I was so excited to learn spa. Like, most everything cosmetology that wasn't here, I was just excited to be in there learning something different. Are they using Neutrogena? We ain't got no Paul Mitchell today. Okay. Okay, so Neutrogena must be the go-to.
So remember, we talked about texture. So this activity is going to allow you to see your
Okay. Come on. So I didn't record our demo for spa, but the first thing we learned in spa is how to do facials. So they went over everything about hydrating the face, learning different kinds of skin, whether someone has oily, dry, or combination skin, and what products you want to use to combat what type of skin that someone has. And Deasia was doing my facial today. I have combination skin, which means that I'm oily in my T-zone area, which is like my forehead and my nose, and I'm dry around the rest of my face. So DH used the products that she needed to use to give me a facial. And I don't know how much content I got while she did my facial, because I fell asleep by the end of my facial. And we had the hot towels, the steamers, but it was just so relaxing. We had turned dim the lights by the time she had started my facial, and It was candles in there and the aromatherapy and the music and everything. So y'all, I had fell asleep. But I also did a facial on her when I was done and she fell asleep too. So it was just so relaxing this day. So this was the end of the facial that I did on Deasia, and I did wanted to let y'all know before we got out of court, we did get some new mannequins. We got 2 apiece of all 3 of these, and we did get our makeup kit before we left out. We haven't really done much with it, so I hope to be doing more with it in the future. We did take a makeup class by someone in the school, but we haven't really done much. So since this was the last week of core, y'all, next week we're gonna be on the floor. So we had a potluck and a game day. We just basically spent the whole day with each other because this would be our last time in a class setting together, because next week everybody will be on the floor taking clients. And it was so bittersweet, y'all, because we are ready to get on the floor, but we really just had a time in this class. So we end up taking down our name tags that we had up since the beginning of the first 10 weeks. We did a little assignment where we all wrote good things about us on a piece of paper. So we took those down and we basically just cleaned up the whole class because this was our last day in it. And next week we'll be on the floor and I'm just super excited. It's just so bittersweet, but we ready, and I'll make sure I keep y'all included on what we do next. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all on the floor. Bye.